For 2019, Hyundai looks to fix some of the performance issues of the first-generation Veloster while still retaining the unique styling that made the model so popular with younger buyers. Is it finally time for performance enthusiasts to consider this quirky coupe? That's coming up on this episode of Driving Sports.
Today we're taking a look at this, the 2019 Hyundai Veloster. Now this just isn't any Veloster, this is the Turbo Ultimate. That means it has a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that puts out 201 horsepower. It also has a leather interior, heads-up display, technology like you can't even imagine, and it's all priced just south of $30,000. Now the first thing that you have to take a look at here is the styling. They really haven't gone too far off the reservation in terms of the overall design concept. It's still a funky 3-door coupe with, well, lines that you won't find in any other vehicle. And they've taken those and not smoothed them out, they've actually made them even more dramatic. Take a look at this mouth. It's huge. Also, they've added accent lines to the hood to kind of give it a more sculpted look. And then down the side, you also have some little indents that really help create a lot of interesting character. Now this model, because it is the Ultimate Turbo, also has the two-tone paint. And I have to say, the two-tone paint actually, it looks pretty cool. Although being in my mid-40s, I have to admit, I don't quite feel at home in this vehicle. This is a car definitely designed for somebody younger than myself, but that's okay. One of the great things about the Veloster is the back. And I'm not just talking about the design, although it actually is pretty cool. It has some nice elements of a wing up there and a lower spoiler there. It's actually how useful the space is. Cargo volume is nearly 20 cubic feet with the second row up. Fold it down and you're looking at 44.5 cubic feet. That's a bit less than either the Honda Civic or the Chevy Cruze hatchbacks, which are, granted, more mainstream in the looks department. The Veloster is definitely a sporty coupe. I mean, just look at it. We have little red accents that are color matched throughout the cabin. We also have multi-tone colors here. And we even have little sports stripes over there. How cute. They're definitely going for a young and enthusiastically sporty demographic here. And I can't say they've failed. They've done actually a remarkable job. This being a Hyundai Ultimate Edition means that it is absolutely loaded with features. We have everything from this large 8-inch touchscreen display that supports both Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto, to these really nicely sculpted leather seats with the little red accent in the middle. Steering wheel, again, covered in leather, and even the little shifter here for the twin clutch automatic is also covered in leather, as well as a little colored accent piece that is pretty cool. It has paddle shifters that are plastic. I would prefer metal, but at this price point, I think that's kind of what you would expect. We also have adaptive cruise control. The controls are for it right here. Basically, you just set your target speed, and this will pace the car in front of you with a set distance up to that target speed. When doing interstate travel, there is nothing better than adaptive cruise control. The seats are heated, and of course we have multiple drive modes. We can go from normal to sport to smart. Now, one of the neat tricks about this model is that when you go into sport, the heads-up display actually gives you a large tach and speedo. Go back into one of the other modes and it becomes a safety display instead. I really like how they've actually taken the HUD and made it more multi-use. Some of these HUDs, they just basically show you the same information in slightly different ways. This one, it actually changes pretty dramatically when you switch between your modes. That's kind of cool. Now moving below the HUD, we have a gauge cluster that is pretty traditional, at least for a Hyundai. We have a large tach on the left, speedo on the right, and a multi-function color display in the middle. Now let's talk about the driver's assistance. This has collision mitigation, driver attention warning, lane safety like lane detection. It also has blind spot warning and rear cross traffic alert. Moving on, let's see how this little coupe drives, because honestly, that was my biggest argument with the old one. It looked cool, but it didn't drive great. But Hyundai, they've been making big strides. Let's see if they can pull this one off. With the previous version of the Veloster, I considered the handling to actually be kind of sloppy. It wasn't my favorite kind of drive. In fact, I really didn't like the car at all. This new one, it actually makes amends. The handling is much crisper. Turn-in is so much better. And I can feel what the front wheels are doing without excessive torque steer. It is basically what a front-wheel drive sport coupe should be. So Hyundai has done a remarkable job improving this vehicle in every place that it needed to. Now, this model of Veloster has a 201 horsepower engine. It also puts out 195 pound-feet of torque. That is fairly significant in a vehicle of this size. However, if this isn't fast enough, they're going to be coming out in 2019 with an N edition. That is Hyundai's tuning department. That one's going to have 275, which will certainly pose a challenge to the Honda Civic Type R. Now, I know some of my viewers think that I'm a Hyundai hater, but it's not true. I actually really like this car. It's just not for me because, well, look at it. That does not say 45-year-old media guy. No, it says like 25-year-old tech dude, maybe. Definitely not a guy with 2 kids, a wife, and a mortgage. Definitely not. Even though I enjoy driving this car, there are a couple things that really bug me. One of them is something we can't do anything about because it is just the way the car is designed, and that is visibility. That C-pillar is huge. Thank goodness this vehicle does come with blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, which helps me negotiate around that massive blind spot. However, if you get the entry-level version of this car, it doesn't have any of those advanced tech features. So you're basically going to be risking it whenever you pull out. Not my favorite thing. Also, there's really just the sheer size of this car. I've been in small sports cars that don't feel tiny. This one feels tiny. My head is right up at the top. And that's even with the sunroof open. I barely fit in here. And I'm not that unusual. I'm 6'1", I weigh 200 pounds. I'm kind of average, I think, in that department. And I just don't feel like I really fit that well. So if you're on the large side, you may have a problem in this car. The Volkswagen GTI, tons of room. I mean, you could fit a 6'4" dude in there, no problem. Even the Honda Civic Type R, more room on the interior than this car. It is really a small car. Transmission seems fairly quick to respond to the paddles. This doesn't really feel like a dual clutch though. It doesn't have that ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk that I actually kind of expect with a dual clutch unit. This one drives very much like a standard automatic, albeit one that shifts gears fairly quickly. So how well does this car do 0 to 60? Let's try it. Okay, we're gonna pull up here. Complete stop. I'm gonna put the transmission to sport, but automatic. 3, 2, 1, and go. A little slow to respond. Whoop, 30, 40, and 60. You know, once that turbo kicks in, it's all over. It's very quick. There's a little bit of lag as it's slowly getting into the turbo hot space. So you're looking around 2,000 RPM for that turbo to really kick in.
The new Veloster also borrows at least one idea from the BMW M5, and that's using the internal speakers to enhance the exhaust note. Of course, on the outside, to everyone else, it still sounds just the same. This feature can be disabled using the touchscreen. Here it is on. Here it is off. How you want to drive? Totally your call.
So at the end of the day, would I consider buying one of these? Well, no, because of the way it looks and of the way that I fit. These are two things that for me are non-negotiable. I'm not going to run around in a car that says that I think I'm still in my 20s and want to race stoplight to stoplight. If that's you, the Veloster is actually a really great little car. It's fun to drive, it has good economy, the tech is right up there. Honestly, you would be hard-pressed to find a better option. Now, I think I might actually lean more towards the Honda Civic Coupe. I just think it has more of a lasting design that'll still look good several years from now. The previous generation Veloster even didn't really age that well, and I think we'll have that same problem with this design too. But this does have lots and lots and lots of really great features. It's fun to drive. It's very useful in terms of cargo capacity, though not the largest, it at least holds enough. And it's actually quite comfortable, albeit definitely on the small side. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. This has been my first look at the 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo Ultimate. If you're looking for a small, fun, quirky sport coupe, this is definitely one worth looking at.
Be sure to subscribe for more great videos.